Welcome in, come one, come all. We have a wonderful show here for you today. I am Danny Souds. I am joined by Knuckles. Knuckles, how are we doing?
Doing great tonight. Looking forward to some great Overwatch. Really excited to be casting Syracuse and Ashland.
That's right. We have a good Week 5 NACE Varsity Premier match. Syracuse Overwatch taking on Ashland. This is going to be a great match. Now, there are some preemptive playoff implications here. I know Syracuse is looking for a playoff spot. If they win this week and win next week, they pretty much can lock up the 1 seed. If they win this week, lose next week, they're maybe get the 1 seed depending on some other stuff. But Knuckles, what do you want to see out of each team as they kind of, both teams here are fighting for kind of the same playoff spot?
I mean, I'm really curious to see what the comps are, like what they're going to decide to run comp-wise. I mean, I was hearing some chatter about some possible Zarya play. I haven't been seeing any Zarya play from any of the collegiate or any of the community tournaments that have been happening. It's been a lot of Ramatra, a lot of Junker Queen as well. I'm a Overwatch 1 Zarya main, so obviously
oh yeah,
see that. I don't think I can ask that Lucio won't be played because I think Lucio will be played. But the plus side of that is that we're going to see some fast-paced, sort of like two heads colliding type Overwatch, which is always fun to watch.
It's always fun to watch, and I remember when we were doing this stream a few weeks ago, it was me and Kobe Knuckles, but that's what it was. Right, we went down to the wire. We went to Game 5. It was fast-paced. It was a brawl, and I think the two standouts from last week that I'm really looking for this week from Syracuse was Hating Father and Azer. Of course, Azer, my own roommate, so you know, I little bit biased in that regard, but Hating Father, he's what the team lovingly calls him China's gift to Zarya. So I hope that we can see the Zarya because it could really do us good. But like as you said, right, we're not seeing that much of that. What are we seeing from DPS after the new you know what I'm talking about?
The update, yeah.
The update. Give us a quick lowdown on the update.
Yeah, I mean, it is the biggest update to arrive in Overwatch 2 since the release of the game. Obviously, Tracer has been absolutely dominant. The change to the projectile size, I actually think Tracer's fall off wasn't nerfed, but like Tracer just does so much damage. So a lot of teams and a lot of team comps that are being played in organized Overwatch right now are actually just being organized around how to best enable Tracer. And so on the other side of it, we're seeing some Soldier 76. We're seeing some Echo who can do very well against Tracer. Not only because she goes into the sky, but her tri-shot does a lot of damage if you manage to hit those headshots. But going into Control Center right now, I doubt we're going to really see a whole lot of Echo. I would love to see some Junkrat, some vintage Overwatch DPS picks. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're gonna have to see what the theory crafting from these teams end up being, because at the same time, I haven't seen any Junkrat played so far.
Yeah, I haven't either, and I've been talking to Azer a little bit and Law as well from the Syracuse team. You know, Azer's my roommate, team's best friends. We're around each other a decent amount. But they really they don't like Junkrat that much from what I've gathered. Azer likes his Sojourn, he likes his hit scan. I mean, we're seeing it right now. Potentially we'll see China's gift to Zarya back on the sticks. Law Helistoma, the new addition, she has been very, very, very wonderful on that Baptiste, but What are we seeing from these two team comps right out the gate?
Well, and we can't really understate how good Baptiste has been as the sort of like flex support option. I mean, it looks like we're coming out with a slightly more divey comp, which Zarya is obviously going to be able to enable with the bubbles. On the other side, we're seeing more of a rush style, which you would usually expect to see this with like a Reinhardt, but Reinhardt's not really in a good spot. And you can already see right now as Chanso comes out and really just runs at Syracuse University, managed to isolate Zarya. And that's kind of just the end of the fight. But this is going to be a match between the front line and being able to take angles and actually control the space through I'm actually the expression is missing me, through crossfire. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to think. But a really dominant first fight coming out from Ashland.
Very dominant, just speed in, able to kind of take that brawl to Syracuse. But right here, we will see Syracuse down, but not out. Zarya's going to be walled off, pops the bubble, able to get up to 80 charge immediately, hit down to low HP. Syracuse loses their lamp, but they get out. They have the Zarya on high charge, and it looks like they're pushing to make a counter-offensive. Chanso goes down to Azer with the right click. Helistome able to pick up the Reaper. Now Azer in a 1v1 finds the kill onto the Mora, and this should be an easy cleanup as Syracuse take back the point.
I mean, and at Azer's level, playing the Sojourn, that split second where Chanso realizes they are in the wrong space, it's too late already. I mean, Azer gets that pick already up to 82% towards their ultimate. Kilo is almost at their window, which is going to mean that they might be able to have a bit of an aggressive hold. However, Azer actually ends up getting knifed and brought back, and this is what the power of the speed that Ashland's comp gives their team.
You blink and you literally miss it. That was crazy. I mean, they literally just walled the backline in May, and they just, with that kind of death ball, the May Reaper, they don't die fast enough, and Syracuse just dies faster. So I feel like they got to be a lot better on these little positioning battles, make sure they're not overextending.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, again, Ashland's whole game plan is to play faster than Syracuse, right? You're thinking about the Genji, thinking about being able to lock down targets and be able to finish them off, but sometimes that takes time. Azer needs to get their railgun in, but of course a great rotation coming out from Syracuse and a great graviton surge, also an early graviton surge. Chanso's only at 79% of their ult. Meanwhile, Ashland is throwing ults at a fight that's already lost.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw the great grab from Hating Father, Shao on the Zarya, you know, ex-contenders, Chengdu contenders player, or academy player, contenders champion. He's really stepping up, and I think that's what we're going to need to keep seeing.
And now it's going to be the battle of two beats, right? I mean, you're going to have the Blade coming out. Best case scenario for Syracuse as far as the ult economy is concerned is that using the Blade, you're able to get out the beat from Ashland.
Yeah, this is going to be a really pivotal fight, but Azer able to find that quick headshot onto the Mei. Law cleans up the Reaper. Now this should be pretty good. We're going to see Ashland can't use any ults here because it's not going to do anything for them. Gracio is going to fall down, and that's going to be a quick fight win off the back of Azer finding that nice pick.
Really looked like an overextension coming out from Ashland because it seemed as if Syracuse University were getting back, waiting to absorb the pressure, using the Zarya bubbles, doing more damage. And in the meantime, Azer is able to hit that golden shot.
They're going to need to look for a little bit more golden shots. Ults are going to come out here from the side of Ashland. The Junker Queen ult comes in, antis the whole team. The beat is going to come out from Law in return, and Lunar going to pop a blade of his own to bait out there. Lucio ult, he's going to chase Lucio up onto this top platform. He's flying off the edge. Lunar being tracked down by Mora, able to find his way away, but Memes will not go down that easily, able to get off. Now this fight is turning into a little bit of a scrap. It is a continued effort, and Shao able to find another grab. The window comes out from Helistoma. This should be easy pickings for Syracuse. They take down 2, they take down 3, and now they just clean up the fight.
And that's a great disengage coming out from Syracuse University, because one of the things about the new patch is that with the speed that is currently being played, that was considered to be meta, I mean, actually Coalescence gets a lot of value, especially in targeting the squishies. So the fact that they were able to get back far enough to not get completely beamed and then re-engage with the grab is a great job by Syracuse.
Really interesting play on this Reinhardt. I'm curious to see it as Azer hit the corner, just able to make it out. Great job by Shao, able to support his teammate as Azer uses his overclock, 55 charge on the Zarya. The overclock, speaking of, comes through, able to find the kill onto the Tracer. Lunar up in the air, looking for more. Low HP, the Lucio fighting for his life, falls down to Azer. Now it's a 3v5. Syracuse just have to keep pressing the advantage, backing down this Ryan into the corner. Fighting for their life is the Mei, low HP. The Zarya is frozen, the Blizzard comes out, but it shouldn't matter, actually, as I am wrong. They seem to turn this fight around. 2 quick kills on a Hating Father and Lunar, and now it's an absolute scrap. Both teams not even strength, but off the point goes Syracuse, and Ashland able to take a little bit of a C9 there.
I mean, that was, and this was incredibly competitive round, and that was incredibly enjoyable to watch. The Ryan obviously coming out again, it's considered to be a counter to Zarya, and what Ryan really provides is again the ability to be able to hold space and not necessarily die as quickly as the opposing Zarya, but really a great job coming out from Ashland here. I mean, playing their win cons and using the Blizzard. I mean, Blizzard in almost any single meta is still an incredibly powerful ult, and the timing for that was just perfect, making sure it caught out too much of Syracuse, and they weren't actually able to either, if they stayed on point, they died.
Yeah.
But they had to get off point, unfortunately.
What do we think about this switch to the Orisa from Hating Father?
You know, I haven't been seeing a lot of Orisa being played, so I'm actually not sure. I mean, what Orisa provides, above everything else, is survivability, but also Orisa's ability to kind of like, if they hit the spear and can get the shots in, that can be an instant death. But Ram's in a really good spot right now. Ram's survivability is second to almost none, and so this is going to be tough for a hero that doesn't have a shield that they can put down.
It's going to be tough. The lamp is going to have to be used to keep Hating Father alive as he gets caught out by the Maywall. Looking to take some space over the left side of this point, throwing in a javelin, again fighting around, but the Maywall is going to come in behind him, block him off from the rest of his team. He's going to fall, and now Ashland are going to go on the offensive. They're going to take down Helistoma. It's going to be pretty much just a cleanup fest here as Ashland pushes Syracuse back into their spawn.
And the difference between the Zarya and Orisa is that you have two different approaches to basically being Maywalled off, because they are both accepting that, or Syracuse is accepting, the tank's going to get caught behind the Maywall because we want to brawl as well.
Yeah.
But the Zarya had the bubbles, and you know the Orisa has the gold, has the javelin spin. I mean, but that first fight, it just seemed like so late in the fight. The Hating Father, Xiao, ended up getting walled off, and you know, when you don't have any cooldowns available, that's just game over for the tank.
It's game over for the tank, but they're looking to not go down easy. Syracuse in a pivotal fight to win here for their ult economy. The lamp comes out, is going to save a lot. The Moira ult is going to be used to get the lamp, but Azer finds the right click onto the Lucio. Orisa ult comes out, does some damage, doesn't find a kill. Azer dancing through with this overclock, dashing, is taken down by the Symmetra. Now the bit finds another one onto Lunar. Now Syracuse without any DPS, just the tanks and the two supports here. They're still fighting this point with the back window. They can do some serious damage, but Hating Father low HP. Ashland just pushing in. It doesn't seem like Syracuse can make much offensive here, and they're going to have to back out.
And Ashland look like a hive mind right now. I mean, they are playing so closely together, making sure that none of them can be isolated. And the thing is that the sim wall is not conventionally seen as something that's a real game changer, but when you're trying to push in and punish the enemy, that is actually a huge thing. Meanwhile, that spear almost causes an Ajax. Azer with the first pick, but now the Annihilation's coming out.
Azer with the second pick. The Annihilation came out, but low HP. That Ram is just going to be caught off from the rest of his team. Moore is able to find one, but Azer with the crisp aim finds some headshots. Syracuse take the fight and take their first kind of ticks on this map on the back of some nice picks from Azer.
Well, and Syracuse has got to be happy with that. I mean, they only spent Lucio ult. And now, and of course, Ashland's coming in. They're going to have Coalescence, which they're going to have every other fight, and they have Mail as well. But Syracuse are going to have a Mail as well. They're going to start in with Coalescence, and now it's really going to be a battle of the Mails.
Yeah, the Coal's going to come in. The Mail is being charged for Lunar. He has his Blizzard. Who is going to use it first? Memes is going to take down Helistoma, and the Lamp is going to fall. But the Blizzard now, he has to reload. Ramacho 1 HP. The Blizzard from Vasuki able to delay the fight a little bit longer, but Law takes down Samat, takes down Sam. Azer finds 2. Lunar again on Moira, and now it is just the Ram left on this point who quickly falls to Law. That was an interesting fight.
I mean, talk about your team just sort of like making sure that happens. What I saw have happened to Lunar, God, how many times does that happen to me in quick play? You think you're gonna get the pick, and then you need to reload. I mean, you hate to see it, but you love to see Syracuse managing to pull out that fight. Even though they use a lot of ultimates, but you know what? Ashland used a lot of ultimates too.
The Sim TP is going to come on straight into the middle of sight, and Ashland is just going to take the fight right to Syracuse. Hating Father caught behind that May wall, but that fortified from Marissa keeps him alive, throws the window. Biz able to take down Lunar. Everybody from Ashland's low, but Syracuse is being put on the back ropes, being forced into these angles and memes. Boops Lucio off the edge, boops Azer off the edge. There's not much you can do when the Lucio's getting environmental kills like that. The clock's ticking down, 94 seconds. Syracuse are down 2. They're going to need a miracle to be able to stall or maybe win this fight, but Hating Fathers goes down. The Maywall stall comes up. It is just Law and Lunar on the Tracer trying to stall. We're seeing some heroes here from Syracuse just to try to get to the point as fast as they can. Stall, maybe live another day, but they're just going to get mowed down as they come into the point. The Cole's going to come up from Rivalia. Syracuse is going to be taken down. They're going to try, actually, to get some more bodies on the point. Azer soon falls, and this should be just a quick cleanup for Ashland.
And I mean, what an incredible 2 maps, very competitive. I really thought Syracuse were ready, or was ready for that TP, but it seemed like once the team TP'd in, there was a breakdown in communications, and they weren't having enough target focus. And of course, you know, with the Moira, with the Lucio, it seemed as if target focus becomes even more important because you don't have a static hero like that. And so it seemed like they maybe could have been able to take that, but at the same time, I mean, all credit to Ashland. They really stuck by their game plan. They said the Moira was going to work, the Mei was going to work, and unfortunately, that forced Syracuse to play by their tempo. Excuse me. Yeah,
I really liked, like you said, kind of taking the fight to Syracuse. I do think they got just thrown off guard by that by the Sim TP into the middle of the point. I mean, like, because it felt like Syracuse was doing a good job with their Mei, with their Sojourn, controlling space. I mean, we say it all the time, Azer's so good at playing these angles, but when you just kind of like TP into the middle of the point, and it's almost like, you know those balls that are really like small, and then you put them in water, and then they just expand like 100x. That's kind of what it felt like there.
It's talking about
like an expanding. Like, yeah, Orbi. Okay, we're getting word that they're called Orbeez, and that's what they're called. So
never heard of these.
You've never heard of Orbeez?
No.
You've never heard of Orbeez?
Are they where? I didn't grow up here. Are they like an American thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, I guess they're an American thing. Where's your?
Maybe if I saw a picture, I might know. But continue to explain, because I'm picking up what you're putting.
Okay, so imagine like a really tight, constricted like spring, right? A circular spring, we should say.
My favorite kinds of springs.
Yeah, and so the Sim TP's into the point, and then that spring just expands and pushes everybody out, and Syracuse just kind of get caught off around the kind of like space, and they just it seemed like they had a hard time like refocusing, playing together again on that point, and they just got kind of picked off there.
Yeah, and I was looking at Xiao, you know, I mean, right when the TP came in, you had a wall come in, and Xiao was trying to finish off the DPS. It looked like they were really low, but it also, the Mei wall made it so that I think it was really difficult for their DPS to actually come in and follow up with kills. So, I mean, and when you think about Sim TPs and Mei walls, you are introducing levels of chaos into this game that even at the highest level is so difficult to process. And so, I mean, again, it was just kind of like an unfortunate end of that round, but really competitive. I'm really looking forward to these next maps.
These next maps are going to be good. And up next, we have Kings Row. Now, Syracuse did play on Kings Row the last map that we streamed, and it was an absolute brawl. They played really good. I think what we're going to be looking for here on Kings Row is we're getting word that the teams are starting to ready up, is that we're going to be looking for Azer on the Widow. We're going to be looking for Hating Father, playing good kind of backup, and we're just going to be looking for Azer again to find these good angles, and Hating Father to kind of lock it down, at least on this defense.
I mean, honestly, I mean, every Overwatch player knows Kings Row is the godfather of Overwatch maps. And what's even more exciting as well is that, like, how many different comps you can run on this map that work effectively. I have seen poke comps, I have seen rush comps, I have seen dive comps. Now with this current meta, you're probably again gonna see something a little bit more fast-paced. I mean, that's just really been the through line, if you will. I mean, I think Lucio might have been the only hero last map that was played by both teams, and they never swapped off.
Yeah,
and that's just the way that it moves. I mean, we're seeing some potential. Yeah, Lucio's speed right now really hard to dive. You know, the healing is obviously decent. The peel is amazing. Law was, you know, tempting us with a little Life Weaver. I don't think it's gonna happen unless it's for some sort of cheese strat at the beginning. But I'd be really curious. I mean, you know, Ashland has really been leaning a little bit more into the Ramatra comps. We actually haven't seen Ramatra come out from Syracuse, and Ramatra's really strong right now, as I said earlier. So it'd be interesting to see if this is going to be like a Ramatra Rush mirror, if Queen's going to come out, and it looks already as if Queen might be the choice for Syracuse.
Yeah. The May, I mean, I think this comp from Syracuse is very similar to what we saw the last match that was streamed. Granted, that was before the update, but I mean, I don't know, I feel like it wasn't shifted that much. I feel like Brawl got a little bit better, but anyway, the Pharah is something that I don't think I've seen in competitive for a while.
I've seen it as a niche strat,
Yeah.
something that comes out expecting that the other team isn't going to have a response. Of course, this is the attacking team, so they may try a couple of Pharah shots, they may try a Widow shot,
Yeah.
and then probably switch to what they're going to do. I mean, it looks like they're going to have the same backline and tank that they were running last round, so there is, at the very least, you know, some familiarity from last round coming out from Ashland.
Yeah, I like Syracuse is going to get, I mean, Hating Father going to spot out the Widow immediately and just kind of play smart angles. And you're right, you predicted it. The savant of the game, they just switched back to Sojourn in May. The first point, though, the first push is going to come in. They're going to flood through the hotel to the right. Hating Father's going to do a good job delaying the push. We're going to keep an eye on Azer on this top angle to see if he can fire down on these members of Ashland. But right now, we just got a little bit of scrap. And just like I said, Azer able to find the first headshot onto the Lucio. And now Azer and Law, the dynamic duo, they played high school Overwatch in the same league. They know each other. They've been playing for so long. Team up, able to push forward, take space, take them down. Azer finds another. Hating Father takes down Chanso, and it's just a quick cleanup for Syracuse.
And I love to hear stories about that. We obviously, you know, on whenever we're casting, we always talk about, you know, compositions and the history of compositions, but hearing the personal stories of the players is also so important. You know, we remember that with Carpe and Diem in the Overwatch League. Hearing that these two have been playing together since high school is just heartwarming. And I think it gives a special something to when their synergy is really working together. And in that case, Azer was on the high ground and they did nothing about him.
Yeah, they did nothing, and again, Lunar! That's the thing, so dangerous, you know, my May in the ranks of Diamond. My May's pretty dangerous with those right clicks as well. And it comes out big for them. Another kill on a Lucio, and Ash are gonna have to back up.
Yeah, and it kind of seemed like Varsity was a little bit on an island, you know, trying to take that space, seeing if they could take it. But of course, I mean, they're looking for that rotation. And it's one of the ways in which you can get to point when there's so much damage coming through. I mean, they kind of ran as fast as they could into hotel, disengaged, Ashland, of course. And going to that high ground, it just seemed like there was maybe a little bit of a desynchronicity concerning where they wanted to go. Of course, now they are fully committed to the high ground, and this is where the real fight starts.
The real fight is going to begin as Helistoma's going to pop the window. Syracuse going to get a lot of damage in, but that May wall is going to come in to kind of break up some of the fight. Blizzard on Looter. The Junker Queen has her ult. The call comes out from Moira, and Ashland are starting to make their push forward. The overclock from Biv finds two. Great job from him. Going to find maybe the third on Hating Father, who pops his ult. Able to take down the tank, but Hating Father kind of on a 1v everything. Gonna try all he can. The May slow puts him frozen and wins that point for Ashland.
And it's a testament to his quality that they actually threw down the May ult, because I don't think there was anyone else in that point. But huge play coming out from B. Or Bih, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Getting that overclock first, popping it and getting the value. I mean, we talk about the different changes that have come out to the different DPS heroes because of the projectile changes. I don't know if you've noticed, my Sojourn's gotten a lot better. Man, since the rework.
I'm hitting my shots.
I finally am hitting mine, and I play a lot of Sojourn.
It's really nothing to understate, and I feel like at this level, people already don't miss their shots that often, especially like right there. Obviously played really good, but I know Azer, I know his aim routine. He doesn't miss his shots that often. So those increased projectile sizes here as Hating Father tries to escape from that wall are just gonna serve to help him. He pops his overclock and it's gonna force the beat out of Lucio. Ram is gonna come in with his ult, start to just run in to the back line of Syracuse. The wall's gonna come out. Bit takes the 1v1 to Azer, finds the frag. Lunar caught off on an island. Ashland converging down, and Syracuse just have to back up.
And it looks like they caught the sneaky Azer looking for the overclock in the backline, which it seems like they did actually hit, but weren't able to get any picks off it. But this is going to be a quick re-engage with the window coming out from Hilo. And already with a pick on the Lucio, this is looking positive for Syracuse University. The question is, are they going to be able to create space? Of course, as I'm saying that, they're disengaging. Yeah, and they're going to probably re-engage with the Lucio.
But right back at them strikes the Cole. Hating Father maybe overheated, overextended a little bit too much. Without their tank, they're just going to wall off the pursuing Ashland. Azer's going to be caught out on the quest to look for those side angles. You can also just kind of die.
And I think one of the really interesting things is that, as we get a T-pose right there, by the way, shout out to the T-pose. But one of the most interesting matchup differences is between the Moira and the BAP, because it seems like the BAP hasn't really had a lot of chances to really set up and get a whole lot of value, because even the high ground positions that they're trying to take, I mean, Ashland are like, cool, we're just going to run past you guys. And so the windows haven't been super impactful, whereas the Cole is something that could push the team forward. Yeah. And you've been seeing Ashland being able to take advantage of that.
The ult comes in from the Jungle Queen. We see the Bastion swap from Lunar looking to pump out damage. Hating Father able to chase down memes, finds the kill, and it seems like it's really, that's all it's going to take. The JQ ult is going to do a good job just forcing Ashland to take a back seat.
Yeah, and you know, and that's a good quick contest, but at the same time, Ashland is ready for another fight. Here they get to pick on the Azer, and it looks like they're coming in with an amazing wall, brings out the immortality field, and then bringing out the Blizzard, which is fine. The fact that it misses doesn't really matter, because they are going to have that corner that they want to hold.
It's a series of pushes and counter pushes. Lunar takes down memes, but quickly falls to Varsity. Now, Hating Father stuck in this corner. They're going to look for the regroup as well. We are in a 4v4, but the Bastions, the defending side, Syracuse, going to have the better spawns. Biff from this high ground has overclock, is going to be a person to watch in this fight. Is Syracuse going to be able to take him down? It's not going to be certain, but Chanso pops his ult, fighting in the window, going to couple up with the Bastion turret. Absolute damage pumping in, but as I said, the overclock comes in, takes down Lunar, but Lunar from the grave, revenge kill, finds a kill with the nade. Helistoma, Law, each find one, send Ashland on the retreat.
But I'm a little worried for Syracuse for this next fight. You have 2 support ults coming out, and meanwhile, Syracuse only has 1. The hope is that Azer with his ult is actually able to probably at least get the beat out, and so they can take a quick engage. But then, of course, you say that, and then you think, wait, they have a Bastion. So they're really going to be looking to sit back, do a lot of damage, and hopefully do enough damage that when Ashland actually engage, they're not going to be fully held.
The beat is going to come out from Law. It's going to keep Syracuse alive for a little bit longer. The overclock now is going to be popped by Azer, looking for a lot to find, but Ashland just scatters, finds good angles to hide behind. The counter beat comes out, and they're going to use that as an opportunity to be the aggressors. The Bastion artillery fire is going to come out. It's not going to find anybody, and this is just a battle of people shooting at each other. Biz gonna strike first, taking out Lunar, but Long Helistoma quickly respawn with a kill and a chance zone memes. Biz again takes down Hating Father, who from the grave kills Varsity. Now Biz, Azer each find a kill. This Sojourn battle is just giving us all that we want, and Syracuse come out on top.
Well, and Hilo coming out with 2 picks, that is huge. They actually got the final blow onto the Ramatra, and I think if that Ramatra lives, that fight doesn't go the way that it did. Huge pick coming out from the Baptiste player, and of course I was questioning the Baptiste pick, but it's coming good on this 3rd point.
Helistoma, from the time she's been on the team, has been a very, very, very good Baptiste, hitting the shots, finding the clutch windows, and she's gonna need to find another here. Only the window for Syracuse, but as we see, the Blizzard gonna be online very soon, as well with the overclock. Syracuse are gonna be in a bit of a bad position going into what will probably be the last fight. The Blizzard is online for Varsity. The overclock is gonna be soon to follow. The May wall comes out, forces Syracuse into the corner, where Varsity comes in with the Blizzard. The bat window is going to come out from the top. Lunar's going to fall to the May. Hating Father's going to go down to the overclock. Those DPS ults are so powerful and force Syracuse away.
And what an incredible push by Ashland. I mean, when I saw the May Blizzard, I was like, okay, they're probably going to Blizzard Hating Father, get the pick on the tank, but the rest of the team is going to be on an off angle. They're going to be fine. Meanwhile, because the rest of the team is on one side, one flank, all Visca needs is the window to wrap around, drop the Blizzard, which is exactly what they did. And it seemed like, I mean, it seems like Syracuse is playing a little bit more of a reactive style, which I think really works. But at times, you're wondering whether or not they can actually jump into action and take the fight a little bit earlier so that they can maybe control how Ashland uses their ults and cooldowns.
Yeah, like you said, the playing reactive can be good, and I think you're right. What you're observing is good, is correct from what I've seen from Syracuse. In a few games that I've seen them play, but yeah, I mean, the May, great wall, like just maximizing all of your abilities very smartly. Now we do see the Ash here from Bit instead of the Sojourn. What does that tell you?
Well, I mean, Bit was hitting shots last round, let's be honest. Like, last round was the Bit round. As much, I mean, the walls were amazing. I thought the positioning from Chancellor was really great. It looks like they're coming out with the BAP as well, so we're at least going to have a support mirror. But Bit coming out on the Ash tells me they're going to want to play a little bit slower, which might give Syracuse the opportunity to kind of push the tempo a little bit.
Yeah, like I thought we were gonna see Azer on the Widow. He was hovering it, but the Lucio and the Bastion from Azer does not normally play this Bastion. Normally Lunar is on it, but he is the Mei player. So if they're gonna have a Mei Bastion, Azer is gonna be the one on that character, and they're just gonna speed right through this hotel to the left. Azer's gonna push out, looking for shots. Ashland now retreats behind the walls of the hotel. Ash on that high ground. Syracuse are gonna have trouble dealing with her. Lucio comes around the right side, might have extended a little too far, just able to get out with his life, as again, just more scrapping coming down onto this point. Window comes out, and we kind of take a breath.
Well, and Ashland did a really good job, again, avoiding the line of sights coming out from the Bastion. But this is a great rotation coming out from Syracuse. This is actually the same rotation that Ashland made when they ended up capturing the point. So hopefully this apartment building is going to be the key to Syracuse's success.
It was the key to Ashland's success. Now, can it be the key to Syracuse's success? Azer gets caught out. I don't know if he was booped down from that position or what, but Syracuse aren't going to be deterred. It looks like they're just going to take the long route. They're going to play in these hallways while they wait for Azer. Support from above on the Widow. Seems like they're kind of gambling here that Azer can find some shots as the team is split, coming in from every direction. The fight is happening now. Maywalls come out. Tanks are shooting at each other. Ash is looking for some hits, trying to take down that lamp. Helistoma with the window and a kill. Hating Father now takes down the Mei. Lunar takes down Rivalia. Lucio dancing on the point. You will not dance today. The amazing right click there. Hating Father cleans up and they are going to get this point.
Well, and memes going out for the Widow is something that, you know, anyone who plays Overwatch, at least at my level, that is very effective, right? I mean, it's hard to hit a Lucio. Can't help but wonder whether or not the Lucio actually would have been more valuable on point. I mean, being able to deter the Widow from being able to hit the shots that they want is obviously incredibly valuable. But at the same time, when you have a Queen versus a Ram, you are fine with these scraps. You are fine with having a team fight that is not forward focused. And it looks like Syracuse took advantage of that.
Yeah, they really did. Now looking to try and fight for this top angle. Azer and Memes got a little bit of a skirmish up top. He's going to come up from Sojourn, looking to charge up some of her arrow. The Bob and the Blizzard, and pretty much Ashland has 5 ults online. They just have to be careful not to use every single one here, and they pop the Bob, and Syracuse is going to back up. Syracuse, 3 ults of their own.
I was a little surprised that B was actually opening, holding so close, because right now, I think Syracuse is just going to run at them, and that's one pick going their way, and with the Junker Queen ult, this is looking like it might go Syracuse's way.
The Blizzard and the Beat come out from Ashland, but it looks like it might be just a little bit too little, a little bit too late, as Azer, Hayden Father each find a kill. Just now, cleanup duty on Lucio, on Mei. Ashland probably wishes they could take back those 2 ults.
Yeah, a little bit surprising coming out from Ashland there. Maybe a little bit overconfident in the ults that they had, because you're thinking about where they were holding. How are they supposed to get value out of the window? And that doesn't mean that they have to hold on that opposing high ground that's just to the right of where Law is. But at the same time, I mean, they were holding really close, and they are a team that at this moment want a little bit of distance for their DPS and to be able to create a lot of problems for Hating Father as they make their approach. Window comes out now. They're just going to kite this.
Yeah, very great play from Syracuse, putting themselves in a position to literally, as you said, just kite it. Syracuse gonna have 4 ults online. Everybody but their tank. On the other side, the inverse. Nobody but the tank. Chanso has his ult. Will we see that ult be used? We will. Pushing through now. The Beat comes out in response. The window 2 from Helistoma. The overclock from Azer. 3 ults now dumped into this fight for Syracuse. No kills to show for it yet, but right as I say that, Lunar takes down Chanso. Both windows go down. Now everybody can die. Hating Father takes advantage of that fact. Finds Vasuki. Law takes down the opposing Lucio, and it should be this point for Syracuse.
And again, that's the type of fight that Syracuse wants to have, because once Ram runs in with the Mei, again with Ram, you want to be a little more kind of unidirectional. You want to be finding a target, focusing them down, and getting the pick and getting back. But then once they wrapped around to try and get the pick on the Lunar just goes into ice block. Beat comes out, and now they're in no man's land. We're back to the Moira now, and it looks like we have a Beat coming out from Ashland, but already there's a re-engage, so we are seeing that signature Ashland speed.
Yeah, but the blizzard, what takes down speed? Literal frozen ice. Azer is able to take down Chanso, gets stuck in the blizzard. May is going to survive because she can use her ice block. She's going to wall herself off, but Hating Father will not be deterred. Pushes into that May. Lola able to come back. Azer 2 with the kill, able to take down the 2 DPS for Ashland. Now Syracuse just going to push the envelope forward. Law takes down Revelia. This is looking good.
Getting the blizzard out is incredible for Ashland, but at the same time, you know, as the fight was unfolding, my thought was like, well, who is Ashland targeting? I didn't see any target focus. I didn't see any sort of clear objective about what they're doing. And meanwhile, we're in the final third for Syracuse.
2 minutes and 40 seconds left to move the cart another 10 meters. Biff pops his own overclock. Now firing through. Helistoma with the window. Big gonna whiff that shot. Would have loved to get that kill. The window gonna come out from Helistoma. Biz gonna take that out quickly in short work. The Cole's gonna come out and they're gonna speed in. Syracuse just backing up. The Maywall is gonna come in. Gonna provide some disruption in the back, and it should be good kills for Moira. She can just kind of hold the W key.
I mean, and that's both support loads coming out from Ashland. If you're Ashland, you cannot let Hating Father get that far into your back line and get out alive, and that's exactly what they did. And so, at this point, there's really no ults for Ashland, so you're wondering, against the beat, what are they actually going to do?
They have the Blizzard. They might be able to charge up Ramatra ult, but if Syracuse able to force this envelope fast, it doesn't matter. And as we say that, Lunar finds the kill onto the flying Lucio. Azer pops the overclock, dies in, takes down Chanso. Ben now falls. Vasuki hiding in this corner, gonna be taken down after a little bit of a skirmish. They know Moira's here. They're hunting her down. They do not want her to ruin the parade for them. The fade comes through. She can get out, but she's being kept alive. Hating Father Azer, though, gonna say no. Now we have Chanso on this point. Ashton just looking to stall as long as they can. The beat comes through, and this should be a point taken.
And that, you know, that's a statement that Syracuse needed to make. I mean, especially given the fact that, you know, they concede third point. It's always the hardest for the offense to get to third point. And the third point offense coming out from Ashton was really impressive. I thought it was really well done. Syracuse doubles their time. And it really seemed like Ashton was lost on the defense for this third point. And even, honestly, even second point. I mean, they were taking fights where they didn't really have the resources / they didn't have the personnel in order to effectively hold it. And then towards the end, again, you're kind of wondering, you're like, okay, well, I mean, what are you trying to do? I mean, if you have no ults, I mean, do you play aggressive, try to get ults out? Do you play passive, try to maybe like bait them in? But Syracuse saw that space and they're like, great, cool, this is ours. And yeah, they end up with a much better time bank.
2 minutes to 1 minute. That's a big story right there. Torbjorn running around on the spawn. We're not going to see the Torb, are we?
I hope we do, actually.
That would be fun.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, like, and also, by the way, I don't think we haven't seen any Tracer this round. I don't think we saw any Tracer last round either.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's some refreshing. You know, if you've been watching a lot of collegiate, been seeing a lot of Tracer. This has been a lot more sort of rush focused. I don't think that we're gonna see Torb, especially because there are no flankers. But for our enjoyment, I desperately hope Varsity stays on Torb. And it looks like the Torb.
It's time to get the iron, or whatever he says. I don't know. Torb doing the Torb
Swedish. I don't know, man.
Time to unleash the molten core. Anyway, Azer now has to kind of deal with the Torbjorn shooting in his face with that turret, with that overclock, and kind of run in, take the fight to you in a very fast, aggressive way. Anyway, we're going to see the Ramatra. Chanso going to be hit down to low HP. Dancing around this telephone booth. Doctor Who style is Azer. Dashes back up to high ground. Lunar able to find a right click onto Fade. Now Lucio 1v1ing Azer, but you cannot do that. Do not challenge Azer up top. Hating Father, okay, but you can challenge Azer on the ground. Molten Core, or excuse me, Torbjorn slows down Azer, who was feeling himself.
And meanwhile, we're memeing on the tiny Swede, but 50% to the ult. I mean, the amount of damage that they can put down also makes it more difficult for Hating Father to try and take space. As much as the Maywall makes it difficult and forces Shadow a lot of the times, now it's just raw damage. But of course, memes go a little bit deep once again. And now you're wondering, what is Ashland's response going to be now that they have no speed?
They have no speed and they're down one. Syracuse able to stall for long enough for Azer to get back. He does get back. Hating Father, they're going to be kept alive by that lamp. Lamp is